65 years old, and I'm 65 now. I've known about Water Street. My father used to bring me down here when I was a little kid, because Water Street, they had everything here, like they had pickle bells and chickens hanging up and bagels, and whatever you needed, you could get it on Water Street.
I come up here to get, you know, like cheese for my wife and all the kids. Something nice, you know, it's really nice to come up here on a Sunday.
I just like the atmosphere, and I like the people down here. Very friendly.
And I come down because I meet the same people every morning, and it's just like coming into the family, that's all.
The thing about it is you're liable to meet just about anyone, people you haven't seen in years. Everyone comes to Water Street on Sunday morning.
Well, there's always been a friendly atmosphere on Water Street.
I mean, where else can you get a Whitman's and a Letterman's and a Widoff's and a Weintraub's in an immediate area?
Well, I come here every Sunday morning for the rolls.
Whitefish. Bagels and lox and cream cheese.
The bagels.
I like the corned beef. A good barbecue chicken or a corned beef sandwich.
I come down every Sunday just to hang around here to see what's going on. So Sunday mornings.
And it's really great. My name is Mo Laughlin.
Chuck Laughlin.
And this is Chuck Laughlin.
And we hope you have a fantastic day.
Why do you come to Water Street? Because it's exciting. It's this exciting, the most exciting thing that happens on a Sunday morning in Worcester.
How often do you come?
Well,
every weekend.
Every week for the last 10 years. And it's really, you have a good time down here. Nice people, friendly
fantastic
people.
Fantastic atmosphere. A lot of really nice things going down.
Between 1880 and 1920, more than 3 million Russian Jews made their way to the United States, fleeing poverty and persecution. Here they would find equal opportunity and a standard of living unknown in Eastern Europe. They headed for the big cities, which had the most to offer, and settled in the same cities in which their friends and neighbors from Russia had settled. Thus, many hundreds of Russian Jews followed their predecessors to Worcester, a thriving industrial center with a reputation as a religious community. They tended to be self-employed, partly because of their experience in Russia, where the law generally limited them to being craftsmen, peddlers, and small shopkeepers. Religion also played a part. Since the Jewish Sabbath and holidays differed from those of the rest of the workforce, it was easier to be self-employed or to work for others of the same religion. The Jewish-sponsored credit unions helped provide a start for many of these peddlers and entrepreneurs who worked long hours to make their businesses succeed. The first Jewish-owned stores were opened on Water Street around 1885, and in the years following, the street, only 5 blocks long, soon became the center of Jewish business and social life. There were kosher butcher shops, chicken stores, fish and fruit markets, restaurants. Delicatessens open until midnight or later on Saturday and Sunday nights. Bakeries open 24 hours a day, except on the Sabbath. Thursday and Saturday nights and Sunday mornings were the busiest times, the sidewalks so jammed that people had to walk in the street. Many called Water Street Little Broadway. Jewish families filled the tenements above the stores and spread to the adjacent streets. From Europe, they had brought with them a long tradition of community. They formed social and literary groups and worked to provide health and welfare services, setting up self-help and charitable organizations, such as a free loan society, an organization for visiting the sick, and an orphanage. For years, Jewish immigrants found here a refuge and a community to be part of. Familiar faces and the familiar cadences of the Yiddish language filled Water Street. As times changed, the more successful families started moving to the west side. By 1940, almost half the community had moved. In the late 50s, Interstate 290 cut through the adjacent streets, ending the walk-in trade, and forcing some merchants to retire or relocate to the west side. Today, Weintraub's Delicatessen, Whitman's Creamery, and Czar's Barber Shop, still run by the same families who founded them in the early 1900s, are reminders of the life that existed here almost a century ago. And on a Sunday morning, when the traffic crawls through these blocks, pedestrians weaving among the cars, when the bakeries, stores, and restaurants are filled with people from all over the city, we can still sense the magic of Water Street.
There were tenements over every store, and everybody was so immaculate. I was discussing it yesterday with some of my friends that I was with, and once a week everybody had to clean their windows. When the sun came up, the windows would sparkle so you'd be blinded. And then, you know, especially in the warm weather, after they had their meals, they'd come down, take a chair, sit down and congregate, and they'd have a socialize. It was, and everybody helped everybody else.
They were wonderful people as I look back on it now. When I think of the valiant struggle, the problems that they had. They couldn't speak the language. Many of them were Luftmenschen. A Luftmensch is a person who came from Russia who had no skill. And they had to find something to do.
Usually when you come into a new job, the first thing they do, they give you to sweep the floor. So anyways, he gave me to sweep the floor, and the next day he put me in to see if I could do anything in pocketbooks. My mind, I wasn't mechanically inclined. Some people, they could be foolish. The only thing is, their mind is very good and mechanically inclined, you see what I mean? So, he puts me in there, I stay there a day or two, he shows me, my head doesn't take it. So, he put me back to sweep the floor.
It was work. You know, you knew you had to work, so you worked. And we used to go 7 o'clock in the morning, go home for dinner, and come back and work till 6.
My father made a very poor living, but it was a very, very happy family life, very happy.
It wasn't just one poor family or one poor kid. We were all poor or didn't have any money to speak of. So that the ability to earn a little extra money on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday morning, particularly on Water Street, really was a wonderful thing to look back on, the ability to be able to do that and to meet the different kinds of people.
We never saw my father. I mean, he worked terrible hours. And I was so envious when I went to Uppsala Street School first, which was later it was Granite, which was Jewish, but Uppsala was very much Irish. And I was so envious of my classmates because their fathers worked in the wire mill, the American Steel and Wire, and their fathers worked from, let's say, 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. And their fathers were home evenings and they were home on Sundays. And I really thought that was great.
Our way of life was very orthodox. My father was very orthodox. And of course, in those days, I think most people kept a kosher home. That was without even thinking about it. But in our house, on the Sabbath, it was beautiful. Everything stopped, and it was so relaxing. I'd like to recapture it. It was a beautiful thing.
People came from all over just to meet each other on Water Street. Young and old. It was a very lively Saturday night and Sunday morning.
In my business, I could meet more people on a Sunday morning from 10 o'clock until 12 on Water Street than I could in a whole week of intensive canvassing, store to store or office to office. But those days are gone.
I just love the memories of it. When I go down there now, I'm so sad. I can't believe that when you come from Kelly Square, Weintraub's is the first store on the left, where there must have been 7, 8 stores from that point down to the corner.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel so sad when I see what happened.
I recall when the hurdy-gurdy man used to come and all the kids would chase around and follow him around. And he had a monkey. I don't remember how much it was, but the monkey would pick out a little fortune from a box, and he would tell you fortune.
Well, my father, my father's store on Harrison Street there, the peddlers used to come in on a Sunday, you know, when they got all, you know, they had nothing to do Sunday, and especially in the winter time, you know, it was nice and warm, you know, he had a pot-belly stove, they would all crowd around him, they would all tell stories. They wanted to see who was the biggest liar. It was a real Burlington Liars Club there. And what stories you used to hear, you know, some were true, some were false, who knows?
I don't know why, but the butcher shop was fun to be in, with all the other women and the talking and the, you know. It was like going to theater. Water Street was almost like going to theater. If you could step back and watch what was going on, if you're a people watcher, Water Street offered you everything.
To work on Water Street, there's a lot of different reasons. One, there's a lot of action going on down here. Everybody knows everything. Everybody has something to report. All my old timers, they give me the news.
This was Broadway. It was lit up at all times. You could come down here at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, no problems, and everything was wide open. You had a fish store at 12 o'clock at night if you wanted. You had a bakery at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning if you wanted. The bakeries never closed. They were open all night.
As far as I'm concerned, we have the best pastrami anywhere on the East Coast. There's nothing that compare with it. You can't go in the market and get the same stuff. It's altogether different. The way it's prepared, where it's made, where it starts off with, the way we serve it. And that is the best. What else can I tell you?
It is an institution, and no question about that. 100 Water Street, corner Harrison is the way we promote it, and Worcester's most famous fountain.
Water Street, what is left of it is stronger than ever. I really do. I tell a lot of people that. I think it's excellent down here.
I think we were very happy. We didn't have a great deal, but we were very happy.